Hey there, everybody. How you doing? I am going to be doing a journey into these intentions that I wrote, and my intentions are putting it out to the universe. I'm not avoiding this anymore. If there's a dark side to Jesus, I welcome the reflection. I've mentioned it in previous videos that I just don't relate to it. I mean, if you go visit Jesus in the energy world, Jesus is as they say. Jesus is truly as bright and beautiful and pure as they say. And when I go and visit that energy, I'm not trying to look for some dark specks or explore what's the alternative here. I just experience that, and that's good enough for me. But it has been in the back of my mind, the curiosity about why as human beings, maybe this is our growth process, but why as human beings, we have this doppelgänger side. So it's almost like we're up against the evil side of ourselves, but the evil side that's been broken through the experiences. And then we give that broken part power over ourselves because we're just so nice, and we give room, and it just makes us feel a lot of pain, and it influences us to have certain behaviors, and then those behaviors then guide us to Jesus, this all-encompassing light that gets it, that forgives us so we can forgive ourselves, so we can just move forward, okay? The doppelganger made me do it. No, you did it. You did it, okay? It's okay to own it that you did it. Now let's work on it, right? And let's grow. So that's like a Jesus in a nutshell, human life in a nutshell. But we have this like light side, this dark side. And I experience this with archangels too. So I do experience Archangel Lucifer having a light side and a dark side, which I've talked about. And so when we go through growth, we have to face something that is the maddening side of growth, okay? And we feel like all our puzzle pieces are scrambled, and we don't know who we are, what we are, where we are, why we're dealing with this, and it hurts, okay? So that's the pain and suffering side of Archangel Lucifer. But as we go through these experiences, the illumination, the morning star light that we become as we learn and we grow, right? It starts to put the puzzle pieces together, and now we understand who we are now because we went through that. So then we have the gratitude. But Jesus is a part of this whole path. And anyway, I was mentioning, does Jesus have a dark side? And if I don't just take ownership to say, I'm done wondering about it, I'm just going to craft some goals here, and I'm just going to put it out to the universe and then just see what echoes back. And I'm open to this. There is a truth to this. Jesus does have a dark side. I'm open to that possibility, which then could scramble my puzzle pieces, because I've already decided that Jesus is this way and that's it. Done. Done. I refuse to believe Jesus has anything else but his pure, all-encompassing love, okay? But I have to be open-minded to the possibility, all right? So I'm putting it out there, doing this on record so we can explore it together. I'll read the goals that I wrote. This is intentions, putting out to the universe then echoes back. The universe always hears you, everything you say. It even hears the things that you didn't know that you said, because you're always making sounds, okay? And so the universe hears you. So once you realize that you can talk to the universe, but then you have to listen, okay? So how do you listen? You become still and silent. So crafting my conversation, send to the universe, then I become still and silent, okay? And then I will tell you what presents itself. There is going to be wisdom. Wisdom here, okay? And wisdom is deep stuff. It's deep soul stuff. It transforms us from within and gives us an opportunity to reflect on deep soul stuff, okay? This is a deep soul stuff kind of thing. All right, so let's get to it. I wrote this, the dark side of Jesus. I'm putting this concept out there for exploration. I'm choosing to be open-minded to the possibility that Jesus may have a dark side. I don't want to deny myself a certain reflection of truth simply because I refuse to see Jesus in any other light. I don't want to be that person. I want to be open-minded to all sides of possibility. I've been avoiding this exploration. I'm done doing that today. And then I wrote this, okay? For those listening, what are you avoiding that it's time to stop and now dive into doing that thing today, okay? And you're supposed to answer the question. What is something that you're avoiding? This is something I've been avoiding. I've been talking about it. Why am I avoiding doing it? I don't know why. Well, I'm not going to avoid doing it today. So today I'm doing something I've been avoiding, all right? So what is something you're avoiding? And then do it, okay? So then you're on Team Abbey here, or I'm on Team you, because you're doing it, I'm doing it, we're all doing it. We're the sheep following the sheep, just facing the things we're avoiding, and then we're doing what everybody else is doing, and we're not avoiding anymore. We're very powerful sheep here. Okay. All right. Okay, answer the question, what are you avoiding? Okay, that's what I wrote there. Then I say, okay, I welcome, I actually wrote, okay, I welcome divine truth to empower us with new meaning. Bam. Bam. I finally have a cup that has my name on it. I was given this as a birthday present. I'm really proud of it. Okay. It's the simple things, right? Okay. I just realized I'm not 100% engaged with what I wrote yet. I feel like I am in my mind, but I can tell energetically in my aura that I just need to reconnect with this. Okay. So the dark side of Jesus, putting this concept out there for exploration. Okay. Abbey, am choosing to be open-minded to the possibility that Jesus may have a dark side. Okay. I don't want to deny myself a certain reflection of truth simply because I refuse to see Jesus in any other light. Because I don't want to be that person. Okay. So it's interesting because when I read this, I have to ask myself, am I doing this for me, or am I doing this for you, the viewer? Am I doing this? I feel there's value added in just having the courage to ask the question and explore it. I feel like there's value that I'm adding to the world by presenting this. So yes, I'm doing it for myself, but I think there's value to the world having this as an option to think about it. So it isn't just about me. Okay. Adding value to society. Okay. And I'm welcoming divine truth to empower us with new meaning. Okay, I feel I've got it. Okay, this is pretty nasty, actually. I didn't expect this right off the bat. Isn't that what I'm going into, though? Then shouldn't I expect this? So there's this huge door. Super massive, tall. A giant's door, okay? Like a 50-foot tall door. And it's slowly opening towards me. I feel very intimidated. The door alone intimidates me. And I feel so intimidated, I don't even feel comfortable stepping onto the other side of what this door represents. But another me that isn't intimidated, I'm already moving my consciousness through the door, and I see it's almost like a forgotten attic. It's dusty. There's scurrying things in here, like the attic that now attracts the animals that make this their home, you know. Just because there's no use for it. It's like there's no human use for it, so it's attracting things, you know, scurrying things. It's just so dusty and full of cobwebs, and I see a very thin, very thin reflection. I don't know. Okay, so there's this. It's a really good. I guess like an anime type show, and I want to say it's called The Full Metal Alchemist. And I don't want to give too much away, but there is twin brothers. You're gonna know this right away, and it's good right from the get-go. But one of the twin brothers is still alive in this metal suit, okay? You will later find that he's also alive in another dimension, okay? So there's a connection between what animates the suit and where his soul is. And there is a thinness, there's a thinning out, okay, of the life force of the soul. And I see a thinning out of the life force. The thinning out of the life force. And it's so very, very, very thin. Like a soul that has no bones. Souls don't have bones, but it feels like if there could be bones here, there might as well be no bones at all. It's just this thinning out, thinning out, thinning out, thinning out, thinning out. It almost, it's like, how much thinner can we go? Like it's thinner than thin. It should be disappearing. It's so thin, but it's still thinner than that. And I'm now horrified. Yeah, I now am, the part of me has caught up with the other me, and we are both together as one on the other side of this door, saying, what in the heck are we doing here? like we have closed the doors on, we have allowed the attic to be full of critter things and cobwebs, all the while this living force is just thinning out in here and nobody knows about it, nobody thinks about it, nobody gives it any power to exist, you could say. Is this a reflection of Jesus? I don't know. I don't know. Right now I'm just sort of dumbfounded. And the only thing I conclude at this time is yes. It's hard to even say that. I tell God I don't know what to do. I'm kind of conflicted with my human self a bit, so I gotta let go of human reaction. Letting go of human reaction. Just neutralizing, just becoming neutral here. Just seeing this as opportunity here. Defining this as the unknown until we do know. It's interesting because once I become a neutral, I say those things and I transform and I become a brutish force, and I grab this thin soul by the neck really, really tight, and there's an odd sense of pleasure about it. Like the choking of a soul. There's a great sense of pleasure about this. This is for the meaning, okay? I'm taking on the meaning of the message. And this brutish force is quite enjoying watching this lack of oxygen, this lack of life force, and the soul is still alive. It's delightful. It's delightful to see how an infinite essence that can't die can wither away forever. Do you see? You see how wonderful that is? When you're on the side of power and you're on the side of control, and this, then you get to control this. Imagine that is some aspect of Jesus. Can you imagine a force that would really enjoy this? The suffocating of that? Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And you could say, well, why would God allow that? Well, why did God allow Jesus to die on the cross? Jesus even asked, why are you doing this to me? Everything is valuable. All experiences are valuable, even the ones that are so unjust. And cruel then become a message. It's what are you learning from the message? Right? Jesus died for our sins is what you're learning from the message. What I learned from the message is the world is capable of doing that to a good person. I can't, it's like that echoes to me so loud. That's the one thing that I take away from that. Eddie deserved better. Good people deserve better. Why was that the path? Cool. So everything that I'm experiencing, the brutish force and the choking of a suffocated soul that can't die, and the joy, the experience of this being a representation of Jesus, and the even more joyful sensation of choking it, okay? Because it represents something that is good, that actually sets souls free. Now, this is an imprisoned energy, and this imprisoned energy can be tortured, and there's joy in that. From something that takes joy in imprisoning things. Okay, I'm starting to think back to what I was saying about doppelgangers, right? We go through life and it's like we separate ourselves from what is this good nature, then get softer or quieter or tortured within this broken, loud force. That seems to be this big thing to something that's small, and then this small good thing needs to get a little bit tougher here and put it in its place. Doppelganger goes in its place so we can find balance. But this soul is not standing up to put this brutish force in its place. Why? So if this is some aspect of Jesus is not standing up for itself. And Jesus is a pretty big fabric here in our collective. So there's some aspect of Jesus within each and every one of us that is not standing up for ourselves. This isn't just about asking for forgiveness. This is saying no. Is it possible we could change the story of Jesus where the whole community stands by his side and says, no, you're not doing this to him? You're not going to do this to good people? No, you are not. We are going to make the decision here, not you. I often wonder, when you have so many people that are being controlled by very few people, why don't the many stand together? Like, I always wondered, why are there millions of slaves and just a couple of guards? Why are they submitting themselves to this? I guess they're bound and they can't really move or something. But you could have red ants could take over a human being, these tiny small things. But in mass quantities, they're really dangerous, right? So people that stand side by side are dangerous force against whatever is in the smaller group, you know? I just say, hey, you're not, I now experience the brutish force as its own representation, and I'm kind of like a simpleton. But I just say, no, you're not going to do that. I feel like I'm the wimp that's trying to stand up against the bully. But I have no other choice. And it's not as if I have no other choice. It's the only choice to make. Why would I make any other choice? This is the only choice to make. And so I stand here and I say, you're not going to do that. I don't say, you're not gonna freaking do that. No, I just humbly, simply, you're not going to do that. I don't create a karmic loop. I don't put this thing in a box. I don't teach this thing a lesson. I don't, none of that. I just simply stand here and say, you're not going to do that. What I do is force the hand of this one to be open, because the insecurity is weak. You understand me? I just had this conversation recently about, could someone curse another person and it work? So the person is weak to begin with that needs to curse another person's life. So their curse coming from a weakness and an insecurity is then the powerful influence that then binds another person to their insecurity. Only if you're insecure. You have to be as insecure as the cursing person then to be bound by their curse. And you could say, well, they did this terrible thing to me. They need to be punished for that. Wrong. That's called revenge. Revenge never works, okay? It does not apply the right language. In your human mind, this is what I went through, now they get to go through it exactly like I did. It never computes right in the energy world. It doesn't work. It just binds you to the person for longer and longer and longer and longer, the person that you want nothing actually to do with. Because they hurt you so bad, but you can't let them go. They're a monster. Let them go. Let them suffer the fate of themselves. Curses. That's what it applies. That's how the math adds up, okay? And so here, I don't need to punish this thing. It doesn't apply. It just needs to be told no. And because the energy is so weak and insecure, I can just open its hand, because somewhere in all time and space, its hand has always been open. Because there's a stronger version of its own self. Now my guides are asking me if the brutish force is the dark side of Jesus that binds then Jesus in this alternate state, and the door that is closed where nobody is going to have access to what is going on behind this closed door, because Jesus is perfect, right? What about Jesus the human? Jesus the man? You know what I find interesting about this all of a sudden? One thing that I often say is you have these incredible speakers, and they know something worth listening to, right? I want to hear what they've spent their life learning, okay? That they're trying to shorten the time and effort it takes for you to get to where they are. Here you go. Here's what I took my whole life to learn this. This is going to help you, okay? But who are they as people? You know, I just, like, I kind of want to know what makes them cry behind closed doors. Because humans are humans. Jesus was vulnerable. If we see that Jesus was 100% perfect and had one moment where he's on the cross that he doubted, I don't like it. I don't think it's fair to the human experience. And one thing that I've experienced is you have these unfathomably incredible super souls. And you come into a human body, you get the glory of not knowing who you are. That's the gift. So even a super soul can't override the human experience, which then is the gift. So you're animated by your soul, yes, and you can tell the souls that are animated by something far deeper are attracted to a deeper expression of oneself or deeper reflections, and not because they were born smart or something, but there's something deep about them. There's something whole about them. There's something vast about them. And there could be something also quite simple too, is they might not be seeking all the material things, or they might be seeking all the material things. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can live a life here. But there is, when you're in the presence of a soul that is so ridiculously truncated, you can tell it's like they're not opening up all the doors of possibilities for themselves. They just seem to be thinner and thinner. This truncated, simple self-expression. And where is the vastness there? You don't even have to know who you are to have that sense, you know, to experience that sense about things. But truly, we're all incredible souls that come here to live a life on earth. It's not about age. But there is something to be said about Jesus Jesus could have figured out his own self, his own story, and represented that, and that it inspired people enough to create the story of Jesus and to speak about Jesus and to create religion around Jesus, which I don't feel like Jesus was a religious person so much as you could say Jesus was a religious person, but I feel like Jesus was more like the open-minded spiritual type that really sought to understand what creates true love and joy in human exchange. That's spirited. That's living energy. That's creation energy. That's what he means to me. And I'm in here and I'm telling the brutish side of Jesus' own self, as I will define it, let go. And I see the vulnerable, weaker, patient side of Jesus. There is a life force that is breathing back into his being here. It doesn't feel good at first, actually. It feels like starving to death and then suddenly eating food. It feels like a stomach ache. And I'm creating time of recovery, self-recovery, that I see as this thinned out soul breathes, that this soul is starting to have more girth, you could say, and this doppelganger is starting to relax, and I'm starting to see the two now merging together as one, as two but as one. And I start to get thrown into, literally like cosmic hand picks up my consciousness and throws me, and I'm like twirling, whoa, 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 like this, through this crazy cosmic universe full of all these mirrors. And I'm going through all these crazy mirrors. And I start to experience mom and dad. And then their mom and dad, 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 and then their the mom and dad, mom and dad. Okay, like time, mom and dad, mom and dad, mom and dad, children, then find their companion, have children, find their companion, have children, and then mom and dad, like the beginning. And then I hear this funny joke, like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg that gives then life to the chicken? Well, how did the egg appear there if there was no chicken then to create it? And then I see Jesus. Jesus as a beginning. In a cosmic, etheric, energetic, infinite universe that is intertwined with story, that is intertwined with time, that is intertwined with being human and the human experience, etc. And this is a childlike energy, but it's really still and has huge black eyes, pitch black eyes. And is human looking, by the way. Is small, childlike. It's like opening eyes for the first time. And light shines down upon this one we call Jesus. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? Jesus is the beginning. It's literally what they're saying. Who's they? The fabric, the vibration, the presence of information. I go to this child and I say, hi. And then I show up my cup with my name on it. And I ask, would you like one? The child, apparently I just got one. And I gave it to the child and it's looking at this. And then I show the child what I do with it, and I sip the water. And then I smile and I'm like, you can try it too, you know, if you want. But the one I gave this child disappears, and the one I have appears, and the child drinks from my cup. And I'm perplexed by this. And I see within the child there is a challenger. And the challenger is a dark thing where the black eyes come from. But the child of light, because literally the child just looks like light with black eyes, and it has a human-like presence to it. This child of light is pure innocence, pure authenticity, pure honesty. But the challenger is a challenger. It's purely a challenger. That's what it is. It's purely a challenger. That's why the challenger perplexes me. And I say to the challenger, thank you, because I got you your own cup. But you didn't want your own cup. You wanted mine on purpose, to drink out of mine on purpose. Because that wasn't my intention. That's why I got you a cup. You have to understand this is an important exchange, okay? This is not just simple. This is an important exchange. This is the unexpected. We do something that makes sense, but then the response to it is not adding up, but it's okay. It's not that big of a deal, but it is. Because the original intention is not what gathers the outcome that was the reason why I got the cup in the first place for this child. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't craft goodwill. Only the idea of goodwill that might actually be pushed away for some other decision that could also be goodwill that you never thought of it like that. Or it could just be a challenge, right? Of yourself. This is a big deal, okay? Your idea of what's best isn't always going to be the pathway. In a very simple example, where nobody gets hurt. I challenged the challenger back by getting the cup, which seems to be kind of like an off-white color with a teal colored cap. And then I have 2 cups now. And I'm letting you borrow one of mine, since you didn't want yours. Now I have 2 cups. Thank you. And I drink out of this cup, but it tastes like oil, an oil spill. It tasted in my mouth like, and I'm spitting it out like this. And the challenger laughs from within. And I start to see it's almost like this never-ending challenge. Like, when would the challenger, it's like, then the challenger challenges me, and then I challenge the challenger, who then challenges me back, and then I challenge the challenger. Okay? Forever. So do I let the challenger just have the challenger's own way, so we can stop with the stupid game already? Because the challenger, it's like the challenger infinitely does not want to stop within the authenticity and the honesty and the innocence. So the innocence of the fabric that contains the challenger then needs to decide when the challenger will stop. So it's sending us a message too, that we need to decide when we are going to stop whatever this challenger thing is inside ourselves. Because we are the ones that have to decide. We're the ones that have to decide. So I'm giving this challenger no more attention. I just want to get to know this innocent fabric, and I don't care about cups. This innocent fabric whispers That it's like the challenger caring about its own skin. It says that it is the fabric, or it is the skin that then the challenger exists within. And the skin tries to tell the challenger, I matter, and it's paralleling. Your body tries to tell you something. Are you listening? It's kind of like something somewhere was trying to tell me the dark side of Jesus. It kept coming up in my mind again and again. I was like, nah, 10 million times, nah. I've been thinking about this for years, just so you know. Years, okay? And I've been really thinking about it. I've been talking about it. It's still nah. How long does it take before you start figuring it out? Okay, I'm done. I'm done with this thing echoing back to me. I'm just going to go there, so I have gone there. Pay attention. That's why, what's the thing you're avoiding? I'm supposed to do something here. That is a big collective event. That is a reconciliation in Jesus' own path. Is Jesus here to heal us, or is it us to heal Jesus? And you would say, well, why would we have to heal Jesus? I mean, why not say that? Jesus is perfect, right? Jesus didn't have any problems. Jesus didn't struggle. Jesus doesn't know what human suffering is. Jesus just came here, had an experience, died for our sins, no pain and suffering involved there for us, did all that for us, and then we just, it seems so shallow, and it's not really a part of how raw that is, you know? It's raw. It's horrifying. I'm realizing this is important more than I could have understood until I did this. And my guides are saying, what's so important? The fact that this is telling me that Jesus too has his own timeline, was actually a human being that had the same doppelganger conflicts that we struggle with. And it's somewhere in time and space, then can be healed. So is Jesus part of the fabric of the beginning? Then we could say Jesus is the beginning. But what if we are all part of Jesus? Then we are all part of the beginning. So is it Jesus, it's Jesus, 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 or is it all of us as part of Jesus, as part of the challenger, as part of the fabric of this, as needing to reconcile this collective timeline? All the mirrors of the mom and dads for all of this history and all this bloodline that we're all connected to each other. But then we separate from each other, these weird freaking groups. Like, we're all one big family here. We work together or we don't. Or we try. I just hug the challenger and the skin, the innocence. And the challenger can do whatever the challenger wants, because it's really up to their dynamic, what they want to do, the decisions they want to make. And it's up to my dynamic, the decisions I want to make. And the decisions I want to make, my skin and my challenger want to make this hug event. And the hug will be rejected or embraced or whatever. It's just something that I feel like I need to do. And then there's this presence of what can only be described as God. And when the presence of God is here, because there's this really intense energy that just comes, it literally comes down from the sky. And it's blue in color. It's not navy blue. It's like a turquoise blue color. And there's these shades of kind of gray, dark gray, and the turquoise blue. It's like it's resting here. And we're inhaling and exhaling God in this way. And I started to get these funny pictures about slime monsters that eat people. And we just absorb into the slime, and the slime of their bodies is like this digestive stomach. And we're just looking through their body to the outside world as we're slowly being digested, and it's horrifying. But this is not a horrifying digestion. This is actually becoming part of. So instead of being digested by the slime monster, you and the slime monster gain each other. So we have a slime monster and we have you. Now we have these two that then merge together. You become part of the slime monster, and now the slime monster is you and the slime monster. And then anybody else who becomes part of the slime monster, now we all become one with the slime monster and each other. It's like this collective expansion thing. And we're a part of God. It's all very quiet right now, like I'm waiting in a waiting room for the doctor to call me into the office, and we're just, I don't know, looking at each other. It's just very waiting, like, and moving the eyes around and like, okay, just wait here then. God whispers, you've come a long way. And I think about the many mirrors and the many mom and dads. But then God shows me the many times I've asked the question that I've never followed through on. I've come a long way through time to get to the point where I would finally explore this. God asked me if I feel like, was I not ready before and now I am ready? And what is the difference? How did you just suddenly become ready to do this now? Why couldn't you have suddenly become ready to do this the last time you got this idea? I ask that a lot. I don't know what decides to just do it differently. I don't know what I don't know what decides. It wasn't like I thought about it. I did, but I've thought about it. It wasn't like I just suddenly said, you know what, I want to make a video and I'm just going to do this thing already and be done with it. That's literally what I said. And I said, okay, let's write some authentic goals here, and let's treat this with love and respect, and let's do this. And I tell God that the more that I explore why I decided to be ready today is the same thing I've been discovering. Something's changed here inside myself. I told you guys there's something new and I don't know what it is because I don't know the new person that I am yet. I'm a new person. I don't recognize my new self. I need time to understand who I am. I just went through a crazy, confusing phase where I don't know who I am. Now, the me that I am is the one that is changing my own internal language. I told you guys about the journal writing, and I'm honoring the human time it takes to write with a pen and paper. And the more I write in this every day, I've been writing every day committedly. I'm committed, okay? So you want to be disciplined. You start by adding one simple thing. What is one simple thing that you could count on yourself to do every single day? And it's small. Like, I could count on myself to write in this journal. I find that to be easy. I find it to be appealing. Haven't done it in a while. So I'm challenging myself to write with pen and paper, but really I'm challenging myself to honor doing one thing that is consistent every single day that's outside the box. And now I'm getting used to this, and it's teaching me so much. This book is becoming a mirror into this new me, apparently. Then this new me is discovering things about the doppelganger concept that I've been ignoring. The doppelganger for years. Like, I just ignore it. I was telling you how I had this realization that I can't remember the last time I said something nice to myself. Nice to myself. Like, why do you have to say something nice to yourself? That's a big deal, actually. You need to say something nice to yourself, because I am more often, and it's not like a thought, but it can be a thought for sure, but it's also a physical sensation, okay? And I feel this physical sensation of shame all the time. Like I feel like I'm being digested by a big stomach of shame all the freaking time. So if I post this video, I will probably have an experience of physical suffering. How dare you? How dare you do this? How dare you put yourself out there? How dare you? You know? So I am like, wait a second. I know you, I ignore you, I don't care because I'm following my heart. And what if my heart says to make the video, I'm going to make the video, which is more important than you. Yet I allow myself to still feel that suffering. I allow myself to feel that suffering. So I'm asking myself, okay, let's stop allowing ourselves to feel the suffering, but you can't just tell it to stop. You actually have to become the opposite. You have to become the other feeling. So you're going to have to feel it. You're going to have to create it. You're going to have to be inspired to be another person, okay? The timing on this is weird because I'm going to a Joe Dispenza retreat next week, and I started listening to these videos, and it's like, this is everything these journeys have been teaching me, but with the science behind it, which gives me more proof to the reality that what I'm doing is real. I needed that for some reason. But what I needed more was the answer to the question that I didn't realize I was asking. That the answer is the physical. Okay, so I talk about quantum leaps. Like you have to, if you want to get through a quantum leap, it's inconceivable because you're becoming the inconceivable self. But it's more conceivable than you know because you're conceiving or allowing yourself the program of your physical form. And so I've been programmed to feel shame, okay? So I physically feel that, all right? But I got to change the program, and that's the quantum leap by choosing to physically feel an opposing feeling like proud of myself. Like I am proud of myself. So when I'm done with this video, which I felt sickly, I'll tell you guys this, after I did the video where I was really excited to tell you about my journal, I was like so happy. I was like, this is big, this is huge. I'm going to make this video, I'm going to do this thing. Then I felt terrible after I posted the video, sickly, okay? And it took me some hours to finally get to the part of my physical just, no, we're not doing this. Challenger, the skin is speaking. The skin of light and honesty and authenticity is speaking. You know, and I am honoring myself, and I am doing a good job, and I'm wonderful. You see how it's not just a statement, but now I'm choosing to honor the sensation of allowing myself to feel the truth of that. That is all happening right now too. So time, interestingly enough, I feel like the future already exists. So I already exist in the future where I've been guiding myself to this point. So the future I feel is already written, which I find peculiar because if the future comes first, you know, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Well, let's say the future comes first. So the future, we're actually being guided by the future to become what we are at the end of time. What does that mean? You know, but I experience this as a phenomenon that I can't fully understand yet, but it's a thing that I run into. And I feel that the weirdness of not knowing who I am is because I am a new me somewhere in the future. Then I needed to get to this pinpoint of strangeness in order to get through all this, in order to sit down and tell God that why am I ready? Because I'm a new person now. And I'm more aware, consciously aware of the new person enough that I can honor this now. And that's my answer. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I guess I'm paused because the door is open. I'm just honoring the fact that the door is open. The cat's out of the bag. I've done it. I went and visited Jesus, the dark and light sides in the message of our collective experience, honoring the fact that Jesus was a vulnerable human being who struggled just like we do, and that Jesus deserves to be healed too. It's like like, does Jesus need us to heal Jesus? Well, you could say the divine essence of Jesus is already healed. Like the divine essence of all of us is already healed. But what about time and space and all the many dimensions, echoes, memories, the mirror that I was falling through? Can't we put light and love into all of this because we just feel like it? And can't that be good? Is the cup already full and I'm just overflowing it? Does it need more? If I'm inspired and my heart says yes, then I will do it. Because that's the only way I can know. And if I need to be corrected, then I'll be corrected. So I am giving a hug to the challenger and the innocent flesh. That means I hug you because we're part of the slime monster of God. We're all part of the collective. In the beginning, there is Jesus. In the beginning was you and me and all of us. In the beginning, there's the challenger, okay? In the beginning, there's the innocence. In the beginning, right? There's the light and the dark in the beginning. Or at the end, everything that we've learned from this path. What does that look like? I guess we discover it each and every day. I don't know. Is it easier to see the past? Could we allow ourselves to see the present? Isn't that what the Joe Dispenza concept is? Or the future? Like, isn't the future concept? Like, we seek to become the best of ourselves and live the best life we could ever want to live. Every person wants that, right? So isn't that you in the future? Because aren't you striving to get there one day? But that's bringing the future to the present, right? And you're not defined by your past any more than you know about it. You've experienced it. You lived that life. Now bring the future into the present by a physical action. Denying the doppelganger its life force by standing there like some nerd and saying, no, you're not going to do it anymore. And I don't have to punish you or anything. I just need to say no to you. Then give time for the other side to breathe and for the two to start to balance each other out, which is happening inside myself, which very well could be happening across the planet. This could be a divine collective thing. I do believe that I'm not just having this moment here for me right now. I believe we're all having it as a shared experience together. Like Jesus dying on the cross, whether you knew Jesus at the time or not, we all died on the cross somehow. I know that's going to bother some people that Jesus is Jesus. Don't make it about you. But we're all part of God. And that means Jesus is a part of God. Then we're all a part of Jesus. So it's about all of us in this thing together, helping each other out. Like Joe Dispenza helping Abbey right now. Abbey helping you in Abbey's own way. So we're in this together, right? Jesus did this for us. We're in this together. This is a shared family event. We're part of the Mother Father of all time and space. You know, there's more connectedness, and maybe that's the thing, that this connectedness is an awakened thing. Like, we need each other, you know? Yeah. Anyway, I'm done talking. Blah, blah, blah. Wasn't done talking. Okay, thank you for watching all the way to the end where I get to tell you what I do for a living. Kind of like I did in this video. You're welcome to present goals to me, and I will navigate the energy around those goals so we can explore who you are in the infinite mirror, okay, of all time and space. And I will do that so you can see your reflection, and I can do some energy work for you to help bring empowerment and enlightenment into your life. You can book a session with me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I also offer a full monthly experience every month, new theme on Patreon. Patreon.com/AbbeyNormalsWisdomQuest. All right, have a great day, everybody.